Hello and welcome to Camp Xbox, where we talk about all things Xbox from the original Xbox to the Series X. And today we're talking about a Series X release that just came out a couple months ago on Game Pass, and that's Hi-Fi Rush. This was developed by Tango Gameworks, and this is the team that brought you the Evil Within games, and it was published by Bethesda. And this was kind of a random drop during one of the Xbox announcements. They decided, hey, we have this brand new game, Hi-Fi Rush, and it's coming out today. And I know a lot of people rushed to play it, as I did. It's taken me a little bit to get to this point and review it because I wanted to spend my time with it, really think about it before I gave my full thoughts and opinions. And Hi-Fi Rush is a fully stylized combat rhythm game, and it's something a little different, takes some things from other games, but it is a really cool and neat game. In this game, you play as Chai, who is someone who really wants to be a rock star and who goes under a robot operation, but it goes wrong. And an MP3 player gets tied to himself, and now everything he does has a rhythm to it. And he is under chase by the corporate leaders of this world. And with characters like Cinnamon, Corsica, Peppermint, and Macaron, they team up together to take down this giant corporation and destroy the world that it has created. And this game breaks down into level-based sections where you walk in areas and you kind of go from combat to combat, getting story in between. And when you get to the combat in this game, it is incredible. It rocks. It's probably the best part of this game. It flows so well, and the rhythm combat sections are excellent. One thing I really like about it is if you are even bad at rhythm games, you don't have to hit on the beat. You can do combos and hit, and it's going to work just fine. Just if you hit on the beat, you are going to get better combos and a much better score. But if you fumble the ball, you still have a chance to just beat the enemies and move on. And you can come back to these levels later and get better scores so you can get those achievements. And I really like that. I think if you fail a rhythm section in some games, it can just break the whole game. But here, it kind of makes you just want to get better and learn the beat for the level a lot more. One thing I don't really love about this game is its intro. I think the first 3 or 4 levels are really long, and these sections of walking between combat is a little too long. It's a collectathon, and you have to collect scrap and different types of gear, and honestly, it is a little too slow. So all your movement is done based on the rhythm, so every step kind of goes with the beat. So if you're going off and collecting things, there isn't really a way to rush through and kind of just break boxes and do that. You have to do it with the beat, and I find that to be a little dull if things are moving a little slowly. But I will say you do get interactions with your side characters through voice chat, and I do think that adds a little bit to the fun. And as the game progresses past those first few levels, it gets much faster, and the time between combat is much shorter, so you get a lot more of what makes this game great. And honestly, the look of the game is really good. It's very nice and cartoony. It has this excellent comic book look. I honestly really love looking at it because it just has a very different style. It's not trying to be realistic, it just looks solid. And it has a good selection of music, and which I hope it would for a rhythm-based game, but I really like some of the pulls from 9 Inch Nails, Black Keys, and Fiona Apple, but also the original tracks that Bethesda had made for this soundtrack is really good too. So I think the music is pretty solid. It's definitely one that you could listen to on its own and have a pretty good time with. So this game plays well. It moves well, the controls are excellent, combat flows perfectly. There are a bit of boring moments, especially between combat, when what you really want is to get the combat, but you have something nice to look at and the music is really good. Not only that, when you beat this game, I think there's a high amount of replayability to get better scores, and also there is a challenge mode at the end where you kind of just see how far you get in the combat, which is perfect for this kind of game because the combat is just that good. So my advice to you is just stick with this game, and by the end of it, you're really going to enjoy it if you enjoy these type of games. It's one of the best additions to Game Pass this year, and it's been pretty short so far, but I think by the end of the year, this will be one of the more memorable releases. So if you have Xbox Game Pass, definitely check this one out. It's a great addition. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. Also, if you've played this and you didn't enjoy it, or if you did enjoy it, leave it in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. But I'll see you here next time at Camp Xbox.